And good evening, everyone. ESS proudly presents the Wise Guy Sports Talk Show. Your host tonight, Joey Riom, Dave Barlett, myself, Pete Ghost, and our special guest, Carter Rose. Welcome to the program, Carter.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, guys.
Well, we couldn't get to you the other night. We had a little issue on my end. We have satellite internet here, and whenever there's a storm south of us, we get nothing, zilch. So we're welcome you came back. I'm very happy you came back and welcome to the program. I'm going to turn right over to Mr. AD, Joey Real.
All right, Carter. Glad to have you on, and I know that you've been pretty patient with us as we finally got around to you, and kind of exciting because now our third SLC guy. We've talked to Rico, we've talked to Will Arquette, and now we're talking to Carter Rose, who last we knew we'll go into Clarkson at some point. So why don't you talk a little bit about where you're at right now, Carter, who you're playing for, how long you're going to be there, and when Clarkson comes about, and we'll kind of take it from there.
All right. Yeah, so right now I'm in Youngstown, Ohio, playing for the Youngstown Phantoms. I originally started the year in Nanaimo in British Columbia, but with all the COVID restrictions and stuff like that, we didn't end up playing real games after we had a preseason schedule. So I moved here. I think we played 7 games so far, really getting into the swing of things coming up here. And yeah, I'll probably be here the rest of this year for sure. And then hopefully next year. And then following that, we're looking to go into Clarkson. So if all goes to plan, it should be 2 years from now, probably.
So talk to some people here that don't know how this process works. So right now, are you just like verbally committed to Clarkson, or have you officially signed papers to go to Clarkson, or are you just verbally committed?
Yeah, so right now I'm verbally committed. So technically that means you can change your commitment, but there's no plans to do that. It's my dream school. So yeah, but further down the line, there will become a point where you will sign like a letter of intent. So.
And on the same note with that, Clarkson can't take away their offer, can they?
They can, until you have signed the papers, they can take it back.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, but it's very rare. So I just got to keep working, and yeah, it'll be good.
So don't slack off is what you're saying, Carter.
Yeah. You really can't take any time off for sure.
No injuries.
No
big ones.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's going to be awesome, Carter. Obviously, I'm sure, just like we are with Will and we are for Rico. Obviously, Rico's a lot farther away than what you and Will will be. But I mean, we couldn't be prouder here in the Tri-Town community of the fact that we're going to have one of our Larrys playing at Clarkson and one playing at SLU. So I know we're looking forward to that, and I know you are. And we talked a lot with Will about the whole Clarkson SLU and Lake Placid and all that stuff, and the rivalry and everything. But let's talk a little bit about you right now before we dive into any of those things. Why don't you give the people idea of your journey so far, even all the way down into squirts and youth hockey, and you know, some of the coaches that have impacted you, some of the people that have impacted you, and some of the places you've been so far in your hockey career.
Yeah, so I had the pleasure to kind of have my dad as my coach all the way up. So that was a great time. He was really helped me along the way. So I played a good portion of my minor hockey just right in Tri-Town with the Timberwolves until about my Bantam year, and then I switched and I played for the St. Lawrence Thunder with a lot of local guys. Rico was on that team. Played for them for 3 years, and then during that time I was also playing high school for Coach Locke and Coach Roy. That was a great time, some of the most fun years of my life. And then I made the decision to go away for school. I went to the Holderness School, played there for 2 years. Then I made the decision to graduate a year early and went to Nanaimo, and then now I'm here in Youngstown. So I've been kind of all over the place. And then the funny part is I'm going to travel across the country back and forth to play hockey. And then hopefully for college, I'll just get to come back home. So that'll be really neat.
Why don't you tell the people, Carter? I mean, I know, but why don't you tell the people a little about where your prep school was? Because you said the name, but you didn't say the state. Let people know where you were. Let people know where you were and how much you traveled when it came to mom and dad coming back and forth, trying to watch games, all that stuff. Where were you?
Yeah, so my prep school was in Plymouth, New Hampshire. So I think it's about 5.5 hours away, maybe 5 if my dad drives. But yeah, so they would come down mostly every weekend, long drives. My mom would sometimes come down, pick me up, and then I had a fall team I would play on. So she'd drive me to that, and then she'd drive all the way back home on the same day. So a lot of their time was spent around me and my other brother, Drew. I always thought it was funny because their cars, the decision whatever car they got really was based on us, what travel we needed. So when I was younger, they had this van and I hated it. It was just the ugliest thing, but I mean, we had to get 2 hockey bags in and it was best to fit us all. So they've done a lot of time in the cars for us. So appreciate that.
Well, and you know, since I became the athletic director here, Carter, I mean, obviously my ties to the hockey program became a little closer. I've never really had the time when I had my own job and was the basketball coach. I just didn't have time to follow our hockey program, even though you guys are right in our backyard. And the family atmosphere that you guys have is at SLC for our hockey program is something else. It's something that's really cool. It makes my job easier as an athletic director. I know that. And, I guess talk a little bit about that trip that you made to states, the state championship game. Rico talked about it, and you know, I know you ended up losing in the state finals, but that was such a great team, and that was such a great trip. And I guess the game I remember the most is the semifinal or the quarterfinal game that you won in Standout, and I think you were down 4-2 going into the third period. Might be wrong on that, and you won in overtime. Yeah, I mean that was unbelievable, and you beat a top-notch team just to get to the state Final Four.
Yeah, that was a great experience. I was a young then. I was a freshman, so I just like to kind of sit back and just watch it all. It was awesome to see, you know, the guys I grew up watching, like my brother, you know, Trent Dow, Rico, all those guys they kind of shined through during those times. It was just awesome. So that quarterfinal game was really intense. So a lot of fans there. So that was awesome. And then getting to go to states with all the guys I grew up playing with was just really special. And getting to go to the finals, the Pelham team we played in the end was by far the best high school team I've ever played. So that was a bummer, but I think it was just awesome to be able to be there with all those guys, and just, it was a really special moment, and, you know, something I'll never forget for sure.
I think a lot of us that were there that weekend, Carter, when we were watching you versus Pelham, there was a lot of us that thought I think we walked away from it. The Pelham was the best team in the state, not just D2. Sure. And that I'm like, how good were we? You know, I mean, we probably could have fought for the D1 title ourselves. So yeah, that's how good you both were. And the one thing I remember about the Standout game, Carter, is, you know, I've known Coach Locke for so long, and there's a lot of years where you're hoping you can get 2 really good lines out there. And the one thing I remember about the Standout game is we're able to run 3 lines out there, and you could tell near the end of the second period, even though we were down 2, Standout was only running 2 lines, very good lines, but 2 good lines. But they were getting tired, and I'm like, I bet you that having that third line is going to make a difference in the third. And you guys you wore them out. That was where depth. That's how good you guys were. You had so much depth on that team.
Yeah, for sure. They had that first line. They had a stud. I think it was Ray Falso. He was really good. So they kind of came out with a hot start. And I remember I was like, wow, this is fast. And then, you know, you ease into it as the game got on, and we kind of took advantage of that. But for sure, we were pretty deep. Yeah.
Well, and then all the you know, all the time that you spend in the North Country in any big like I'll stay with high school games, but right now, but like Messina games, Salmon River games, those are, you know, our rivals when it comes to hockey. Any moments that you can recall from games against those schools?
Honestly, it wasn't. I don't really have one from those schools, but it was a game against Augsburg. Honestly, Augsburg was starting to become pretty good when I was I think I was a sophomore. And I think we were down by a few goals like late, and we ended up coming back. We rallied back and won. And that was one of my biggest memories from high school. It was just such a great game. I mean, I think we scored like maybe 3 unanswered goals, something like that. But Augsburg was, I mean, they were a tough team. So that was an awesome game. Packed barn, always is at the community center. So it was awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, the Blue Devils always had a pretty good rated team as far as Section 10. You know, you get Norwood and Malone has been up there for years. It seems like you can't go into any game up in Section 10 and not think that you got to fight for your life for a game. So
for sure,
every game is important. So of course you're finding that out now as you're getting older. So I'll play the bad guy here and start talking about this COVID thing. See, it already bumped you from Canada down to the US. So now can you tell us exactly what you're going through? Why don't you tell everybody what you're going through as far as how this COVID has affected you and the hockey team? You guys in a bubble? Are you able to go anywhere, et cetera, et cetera? Why don't you enlighten us on that?
Yeah, it's a bit of like a modified bubble, I guess. So we go to the gym, we go to the rink, and then really you just go to your billet home, and those are the kind of the 3 places you can be. So we get checked, you know, every day, temperature check, stuff like that. We have an app on our phone that we have to check in with every morning. And the league's kind of cut in half this year. So the Eastern teams, we'll just play them. We'll do shorter bus trips, I guess. And then the more Western teams just play those teams. So it's a pretty, you end up playing the same teams a lot, but at least we're playing, unlike, you know, up in Canada. So whatever we have to do, we'll do it, I guess.
All right. Now, tell us, Carter, are you guys required to wear a mask under your mask, or how does that work?
No, we don't have to wear a mask. Like, do you mean like on the ice?
Yes.
No, we don't here, but when I was playing in the NYMO, actually, we had to put the full, like it's called a bubble. So we had to wear a full face bubble. And then we'd have like a splash guard at the beginning of the season, but then it would just fog the whole thing up. So we took those off pretty quick. But yeah, here we get to wear the visor, but yeah, no masks, other than we do have to wear them in the locker room all the way around the rink, stuff like that. But luckily enough, not on the ice.
Right. Rico was telling us that down where he was that they had to wear a mask under his mask, even with the full face, which is kind of, I don't know, kind of defeats purpose, but I guess I don't understand. I got nephews that play out in Boston. I made a trip out there a week and a half ago, and they wear the full face bubble, but they also have to wear a mask underneath it too, which doesn't make any sense to me. So has that?
Yeah, me neither.
So not wearing the mask. This is a tough question then. When you were up in Canada, did you have to wear a mask under there?
No, we did not. We just had to wear the bubble.
Oh, okay.
It really depends on each league. Is so different. It's kind of crazy that they don't have like a one singular rule, but it's really up to the leagues, I guess.
Okay, so
in the state that they're in, I guess.
That's what my next question was going to be. So it's up to the state or it's up to the league? I'm trying to figure that out. Yeah. Okay. All right. So why don't you tell us a little bit more about your prep school as far as in New Hampshire? Whereabouts in New Hampshire is this, if anybody knows exactly where it is?
It's in Plymouth, New Hampshire. It's like right around the middle of the state. Yeah, so I went there, and those were definitely the best years of my life. You get to, live with your best friends every day. You get to hang out with them. Really cool experiences. Meet a lot of cool people. And that hockey situation just kind of turned out to be perfect for me. I was originally supposed to go where my brother went, Northwood, and I ended up getting declined there. And Holderness was kind of honestly my last option, but I'm so glad that I ended up going there. And I really had the opportunity to I handled the puck a lot, which I kind of needed at that stage. You need a lot of touches at that point, and that's where I got recruited for Clarkson too. So I give a lot of credit to the program there. It was great competition we played against, and yeah, I made some of my best friends there. So it's an awesome experience.
So,
and I would go ahead. No, you're good. No, I was just saying, anyone that was thinking about prep school, I would definitely just refer to them. When you go in thinking that most of the people are going to be stuck up wealthy people, and there is those people there, but most of the people are there they were just like me, just athletes with financial help, and they just get to play the sport they love. So it's really a great option. So
Carter, how old are you right now?
I'm 18.
Okay. So this might sound like a stupid question, but I want to know, how come you're not going to Clarkson this fall and you have to wait till 2022? I'm kind of, is there a waiting period, or how's that go?
Yeah, hockey is it's very different than other sports, I guess you could say. If you're going, most people that go right from high school to college are top prospects that NHL scouts are looking at, stuff like that. So it's really challenging to go right from high school to college. So most people take a few years off, play juniors. You really get accumulated to the level of play, and then you go in from there. So it's definitely different than most sports, for sure.
Carter, did you have any obligations to play other sports at your prep school? I know at Northwoods they'd want you to play another sport. Did you play anything else while you're at your school?
Yeah, we were required to play 3 sports. So I played soccer in the fall and then lacrosse in the spring, which was awesome. I did that at St. Lawrence Central too. And yeah, it was great. Kind of just takes your mind off, the one sport that you focus your main attention to, and you meet a lot of new people. So it was awesome.
Wow, that's something. They require you to play 3 sports. Here we are in public schools begging kids to play 3 sports. Right. We're at a prep school, and they're requiring you to.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, good for you. I mean, I'm sure you had some great experiences there too. I mean, all those little things help, and getting to play other sports. We all know that up here that playing the other sports they add to your sport somehow, some way. Soccer and lacrosse are helping you in hockey, wouldn't you admit?
Yeah, for sure. There's the obvious physical reasons, but for me it was more just I need something else to take my mind off the game to be able to I think really play to my full potential. So those were great to just kind of get away from it for a bit, have a different focus, and then come back and you're kind of better than ever. So it was great.
I'm sure they also help with your conditioning. Both of those sports are, a lot of running, and you're a defenseman?
Yeah, I am. Yep.
So you don't really skate much anyway.
Yeah, a lot less than the forwards for sure, but we do a good deal of skating.
Nice, Dave. Real nice.
Yeah.
Us coming from a hockey school, we came from San River, both of us, but neither one of us played. But still, we know enough about the hockey.
I played up until Bantams, and then I had to make the choice between hockey and basketball.
So Carter, I don't know if you had enough time not to work out, but how you said that you're required to go to the gym now. Was there a time between prep school and when you went up to Canada and back down to Ohio that you didn't have time to prepare yourself physically, or were you always able to go to the gym? Because we talked to a lot of athletes, and we want to know if there's a lull there somewhere where they can't, get into a gym or get exercise.
Yeah, for me, honestly, the gym, I was able to kind of keep that up throughout it all. It was more the on ice for me. I was able to I worked out actually with Rico and my brother Drew, with a friend we have, Adam Solar. He lives in Helena. We got to work out in his barn, so pretty humble beginnings. But yeah, the on ice was tough. We ended up having to drive me and my brother drove to Vermont. I think maybe once or twice a week for an 8 o'clock skate. We'd get home at around 1 midnight. So that was probably the toughest part for sure.
So Carter, in Ohio right now, back a little bit to the COVID stuff. You've talked about the hockey stuff and with COVID. What about just general life out there? Is it kind of the way it is up here, where it's masks everywhere, or are people pretty laid back right now? What's life around town in Youngstown, Ohio?
Yeah, they've kind of adapted the mask mandate like more recently, I guess. Same with Nanaimo, actually. When I first got there, there was no mask mandate, and then it got implemented as the season on. But yeah, it's kind of everyone's mask stuff. So yeah, you can't really go anywhere without a mask, but it's pretty normal compared to Brazier, I'd say. Yeah.
All right. Well, Carter, I want to go back a little bit to when we were talking about those special teams. Talk a little bit about playing with your brother Drew, and why don't you give us a little update where Drew's at, because I know he's just as busy as you are.
Yeah.
Give the people a little bit of give some brotherly love here to Drew.
Yeah. So I got to play with Drew. He was my D partner my first year of high school. And I always looked up to him playing growing up, and we'd go out, we'd skate. I always try to be as good as him and stuff like that. And yeah, he taught me a lot. We still kind of learn from each other to this day. He'll get home from his teams, teach me a few things, and I'll teach him a few things. And yeah, right now he's playing for the Utica Comets, but they're actually in a bubble in Tampa right now. So he's been able to be in Tampa Bay during most of this winter, which is kind of nice. But I think he's winding that up, and yeah, he'll be home pretty soon, I'm pretty sure. But yeah.
And so he's in Tampa Bay. Who's he playing for again?
The Utica Comets.
AHL.
They're in the NCDC.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
In a bubble in Tampa Bay. So
yeah. They're on like a golf course, it's like a golf resort or something like that. So he's got a tough life right now.
So he's in a bubble, so he couldn't sneak out for a Super Bowl party here a couple of weeks ago, right? No,
I don't know about that. I haven't talked to him about that. Maybe. I'm not sure how locked down it is.
All right. Hey, you talked a little bit about Dad, but there's not too many that can say that they played for both their dad and their mom. And you and Drew can say that, and Shane can too. Talk a little bit about that. You played for your mother in soccer here at SLC, along with Drew and Shane. So talk a little about that, because that's a different experience. Not too many kids can say that they played for both their mom and their dad in totally different sports.
Yeah, I can just say it right now. It's kind of nice to be away from them. But when I was playing for them, it had its perks for sure. But I feel like I was so similar with both my mom and dad that I was kind of the outgoing child in the family, so we always butted heads. But yeah, that was awesome. She taught me a lot. I always loved soccer growing up, so when she kind of got the program going at SLC, it was great to play for her and spend a lot of time together in the summer too. And I still love the sport to the day. And then I got to play for my dad in lacrosse. So yeah, the winter season was kind of nice to just be able to play for Coach Locke a bit and get away from my parents.
Well, that's honesty, I guess.
Yeah, they know it too. They know it.
Yeah, well, I'm sure they do, because I mean, I know it too. Toby and I had our moments as well, so I get that. So, well, I mean, that's pretty awesome that you were able to accomplish that. And now to think that we're a couple of years away, hopefully that verbal commitment turns into a letter of intent, and end up playing at Clarkson. And you want to stay in the present, but you must think a little bit about the future. Are you getting excited about that? Are you ready to come home and dive into that Clarkson SLU rivalry, playing in the ECAC, and knowing that definitely mom and dad, but I mean, knowing that you're probably going to have, I don't know, I'm going to guess 100 Tri-Town people at every home Clarkson game, at least that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited. I kind of, I grew up going to their little camps when I was younger, and I kind of created a relationship with Coach Jones there. So it's just going to be surreal to kind of step out onto the ice for the first time, be playing against Will. That'll be great too. Childhood best friend. So I'm definitely excited, but I'm trying to stay a bit in the moment. It's pretty daunting task, I guess, because that's a really high level of hockey, and I still got a lot of work to do, but hopefully when it comes time, I'll be ready. But yeah, that'll be amazing to be able to, because it's tough right now from, my grandparents to get out and see me. I think they saw me once last year. They've seen me once in the past, probably 3 years. So it'll be great for them to kind of get to travel within a half hour, I guess, down the road to see me play. That'll be awesome for sure.
Well, Carter, we're getting close here to winding it down, but it's awesome to be able to talk to you, to Rico, to Will, to listen to these different journeys, Drew's as well. I didn't realize, I'm with your dad every day. Your dad's pretty busy now with a brand new job, but so I don't get to talk. We don't talk family life as much as we're talking work life. And I had no idea that Drew was down in Tampa. So
yeah,
I mean, to think that how far you guys have gone from this little town of Brazier Falls is amazing, and we're pretty proud of you. And we mentioned this to Will, Pete and Dave and I. We've got like 76 different trips that we need to make, but the trip, I think, boy, there's a lot that I'm looking forward to, but I'm not going to lie. I am a Lake Placid guy, and everybody in the town here knows that. I want to go watch a Clarkson SLU game in the ECAC championships with Will Arquette and Carter Rose, and Pete and Dave and I in the stands, be able to watch that. I'd be pretty pumped up about that.
Yeah, that'd be pretty special for sure. I remember I think I went to one game a few years ago, just a packed stadium, great atmosphere. So that would be awesome. I also love Lake Placid, so that'd be nice.
You and Will start figuring out how to make that happen.
We'll work on that for sure.
Please do. Yeah, that should be exciting. That would be exciting. We'd have to get tickets early for that. I'll tell you that, because a couple of hometown boys being up there, that would pack the place real quick. I got a funny feeling.
Oh yeah,
I'd like to hope so. Yeah.
That would. Oh my goodness, that would be. Oh, Richie and Barnesy and everybody would be in Lake Placid. That'd be scary that weekend.
Weekend. Yeah, we want to extend that into a week. I think we can make that.
Yeah.
Well, Carter, we can't thank you enough for coming on. Again, it's awesome listening to all of your guys' journeys, and everyone is different in its own way. Proud of you guys for being able to break away from each other and take your own steps in life, take your own journey, whatever direction it took you in. And we can't wait to see what happens. We told Rico and Will we're going to have you guys back on, and we'll kind of watch your progression as it
there we go.
On.
Yeah.
If you're willing to come back on, if you don't get too big time on us.
No, and, I like to be pretty humble. I'd like to think so.
Okay. and we wish you nothing but the best, man. You're a great young man, great family, come from a great school too. So we're all proud of you.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it. Had a great time. Thank you.
Sounds great. Thanks a lot, Carter. We wish you nothing but the best. So good luck.
Yeah, good luck to you.
Yeah, thank you.
That's going to be it here on ESS Empire State Sports for tonight and the Wise Guy Sports Talk Show. For your hosts, Joey, Dave, and myself, I want to thank Carter Rose, our special guest, and say good night, everybody, and stay safe.